Akshita, what were people, how were people on ground, leaders on ground, how were all of them reacting to Prime Minister Narendra Modi being here? It's a great tourist destination, but is it also looked at as such a center where there's so much about Indian thought, about Indian philosophy and idols of two major philosophers of our country?
There's no doubt about it, Gaurav, that, many of the locals I've been speaking to here, they've been saying that we hope the Lakshadweep model kind of comes alive here in Kanniyakumari, which is that after the Prime Minister's visit, there's a huge tourism boom. Yes, there's been a lot of focus of Kanniyakumari as far as tourism goes, but really never did anybody know the historical context of those two pieces of land behind me, of the Vivekananda Rock Memorial or the Thiruvalluvar statue. So locals here have been saying that, look, we hope that with the Prime Minister's visit, there's a lot more talk, a lot more focus on the historical importance of Kanniyakumari. For that matter, the Bhagavati Amman temple as well, which the Prime Minister visited. I've been getting so many messages asking me, where is this temple? Is it close to Kanniyakumari? Is it right, in the town? It's right by the coast. So from there too, you have a beautiful view. So it's been amazing really to see the kind of response also, because while, there's a lot of talk about the story behind the Prime Minister choosing this venue, what it inevitably does is creates a huge economic boom also for these towns. So many people who ask me, can we meditate in the Vivekananda Rock Memorial like the Prime Minister? The answer is very much yes. So, it creates that awareness which locals are very, very happy about. Sure, there's been a whole lot of politics over it, Gaurav, with many leaders here too in Kanniyakumari belonging to political parties in the opposition raising eyebrows over this particular visit. Many of them have questioned why there have been endless restrictions in place. I can tell you that yes, on the day the Prime Minister landed, the entire area close to the beach was closed off because of the Prime Minister's movement. But since then, they've opened up this entire area, the boat jetty where the Prime Minister is expected any moment now, and we've got our eyes glued to that particular point. Tourists were allowed there till 11 a.m. this morning because they were allowed to take a ferry, go on to the Rock Memorial, which is, by the way, where the Prime Minister was meditating. So they tried to ensure minimum inconvenience while also, of course, very importantly ensuring that the security of our Prime Minister wasn't compromised in any manner. So sure, there was all of that criticism that came, this entire visit's way, but being on ground here in Kanniyakumari, I can tell you, Gaurav, there is as much leeway as there could have been for tourists who were here hoping to visit the Vivekananda Rock Memorial. They most definitely managed to get that done. So all in all, as far as the sentiment on ground is concerned, tourists happy, many of them saying that, look, we came here to visit some of the local sites. We've managed to do that and now hoping to catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister. Highly unlikely, really, that when he makes his way through the coast, he's going to be stepping out and greeting people. Even when he came in, we were told from the few people who he interacted with that he was already, in that spiritual sense of mind where he was keeping very silent with a namaste, bowed down to everyone he met, but that was about it. So kept his interactions minimal. Now, at this point, I can see that the security is making its way up the boat jetty. I'm not sure if you're getting these images right now, but we will keep our eyes glued on the moment that the Prime Minister deboards from that ferry and gets down onto the boat jetty. He'll walk up to the vehicles on standby there, and then we'll know if the Prime Minister is going to make a brief stop at the Gandhi Mandapam, which is just less than 100 meters away from this particular area, from the boat jetty, Gaurav. Some of the most iconic places of Kanniyakumari, and this is the beauty of it, the most iconic parts of Kanniyakumari, all of them are right by the beach. So you've got that beautiful scenic setting and these places with such historical, spiritual context as well.
You're absolutely right, and yes, we are getting those images that you and our camera person are sending us from the boat jetty. We also have pictures of the Prime Minister now at various places. But I want to understand from Pramod, the conversation right now, the choice of Tamil Nadu, the choice of Kanniyakumari for 45-hour-long meditation, the talk about Swami Vivekananda's philosophy, the last phase of polling in Varanasi, which is the Prime Minister's seat, also in Bengal, where Swami Vivekananda and as some argue, the criticism by Bengal Chief Minister of whether it's the Ramakrishna Mission or ISKCON, all of that became a talking point, and there was furious backpedaling by the Chief Minister. Is this being looked at as politics by the Prime Minister, or is this actually being looked at as a spiritual break before, as the BJP puts it, the Prime Minister starts his third tenure?
Gaurav, just as we were speaking, the Prime Minister has exited the ferry. He has entered the jetty and he's walking all the way towards the convoy. You could see over there, my Vijay, Divyan Rajkumar is actually showing you that is the Prime Minister who, after finishing his 40 plus hours of meditation and paying his respects to Saint Thiruvalluvar, that is the Prime Minister Narendra Modi who's actually entering his convoy. And this entire area, I have to say that it's a commendable job done by the security forces. That's the Prime Minister. Before entering the convoy, he's standing over there and he's actually looking at the sea and everything. That's the Prime Minister over there in our visuals. You could see that's him, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He was here in the Kanniyakumari for the past for the 3 days and so far, and he's also just like you mentioned, there have been certain amount of criticism, but on one side DMK or Congress, they claimed that this was a political strategy and a way of garnering votes. However, when we spoke to the security forces over here who've been standing on guard 24/7 without taking a break, they claimed, for example,